Once, in a calm village with green hills and fields, there was a boy named Liam. He lived in Elmridge. The people there were like a big family, knowing and caring for each other. Liam was a cheerful boy with bright eyes and a ready smile. He loved exploring the village and its surroundings, from the bustling market square to the quiet paths that wound through the countryside. But what made Elmridge truly special was its commitment to honesty and trust. In Elmridge, people believed that telling the truth was the most important thing. Liam's parents always told him, "Honesty is the best policy," and the villagers echoed the same sentiment. They trusted each other completely, knowing that their word was as good as gold. Every day, Liam would see acts of kindness and honesty all around him. Whether it was Mrs. Baker returning a lost wallet to its owner or Mr. Thompson sharing his harvest with neighbors, the people of Elmridge always did the right thing. Liam admired the villagers' honesty and wanted to be just like them. He knew that telling the truth was not always easy, but it was the right thing to do. So, he made a promise to himself to always be honest, no matter what. As Liam went about his daily adventures in Elmridge, he cherished the warmth and trust that surrounded him. He knew that he was part of something special, a community where honesty and integrity were valued above all else. One sunny morning, as Liam walked through the village square, he saw his friend Anna sitting on a bench, looking sad. "What's wrong, Anna?" Liam asked, concerned. "I lost my favorite necklace," Anna replied, her voice trembling. "I've looked everywhere, but I can't find it." Liam's heart went out to his friend. He knew how much the necklace meant to her. "Don't worry, Anna," he said with a reassuring smile. "I'll help you look for it." Together, Liam and Anna searched every corner of the village, turning over rocks and peering under bushes. They asked neighbors if they had seen the necklace and retraced Anna's steps from the day before. Finally, just as they were about to give up hope, Liam spotted something shiny glinting in the grass. "Look, Anna. Is this your necklace?" Liam exclaimed, holding up the sparkling pendant. Anna's eyes widened in disbelief as she reached out to take the necklace. "Yes, that's it. You found it, Liam. Thank you so much." Liam grinned from ear to ear, happy to have helped his friend. As they walked back to the village square together, Anna couldn't stop thanking Liam for his honesty and kindness. From that day on, Liam's reputation as a trustworthy and reliable friend grew even stronger in the village of Elmridge. And as he watched the sunset painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, Liam knew that he was exactly where he belonged, in a village built on trust and honesty. And so, our story begins, in the village of trust, where a young boy named Liam learned the true meaning of honesty and integrity. As the days passed in Elmridge, Liam continued to embrace the values of honesty and trust that defined his community. He took pride in being a reliable friend and neighbor, always ready to lend a helping hand whenever needed. One sunny afternoon, while Liam was playing in the village square with his friends, a mischievous idea popped into his head. What if he played a harmless prank on his neighbors? Just a little trick to see their reactions. Liam's friends giggled with excitement as he shared his plan. "Let's pretend we found a hidden treasure in the old oak tree by the river," Liam exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with mischief. The thought of fooling the villagers filled Liam with a sense of excitement and anticipation. He imagined their faces lighting up with wonder and excitement as they embarked on a treasure hunt, only to discover that it was all just a harmless jest. With newfound enthusiasm, Liam and his friends set off to execute their plan. They gathered sticks and stones to create makeshift signs pointing towards the old oak tree, where they would pretend to uncover the imaginary treasure. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the village, Liam and his friends put their plan into action. They spread rumors about a hidden treasure, whispering excitedly to anyone who would listen. Soon, the entire village was buzzing with anticipation. Under the cover of darkness, Liam and his friends led the villagers to the old oak tree by the river, their hearts pounding with excitement. They pointed towards the gnarled branches and twisted roots, weaving tales of untold riches waiting to be discovered. The villagers, caught up in the excitement of the moment, eagerly began to search the area, their eyes gleaming with anticipation. Liam watched with delight as they scoured the ground for clues, their voices rising with excitement. But as the minutes turned into hours, and the villagers grew tired and disheartened, Liam began to feel a twinge of guilt gnawing at his conscience. He had intended the prank to be harmless fun, but now he realized the impact it was having on his neighbors. As the villagers dispersed, their hopes of finding treasure dashed, Liam's friends turned to him with questioning looks. "Wasn't that fun, Liam?" they asked, their voices tinged with uncertainty. But Liam couldn't shake the feeling of guilt that weighed heavily on his heart. He knew that he had crossed a line, betraying the trust of his neighbors for the sake of a silly prank. And as he watched the disappointed faces of the villagers disappearing into the night, Liam vowed to make things right. And so, with a heavy heart and a newfound sense of responsibility, Liam began to realize the true cost of deception in the village of Elmridge. The following morning, a somber atmosphere hung over the village of Elmridge as the villagers gathered in the square to discuss the events of the previous night. Whispers of disappointment and betrayal filled the air as they recounted their fruitless search for the supposed treasure. Liam watched from a distance, his heart heavy with regret. He knew that he had let his friends and neighbors down, betraying their trust for the sake of a foolish prank. As the weight of his actions sank in, Liam realized that he needed to make amends and set things right. Determined to confront his mistake head-on, Liam approached Anna, the same friend he had helped find her lost necklace not long ago. "Anna, can I talk to you for a moment?" he asked, his voice tinged with apprehension. Anna looked up, her eyes still clouded with disappointment. "What is it, Liam?" she replied, her tone weary. Liam took a deep breath, steeling himself for what he knew would be a difficult conversation. "I need to tell you something," he began, his words tumbling out in a rush. "The treasure hunt last night, it was all a prank. There was never any treasure." Anna's eyes widened in disbelief as she processed Liam's confession. "But why would you do such a thing, Liam?" she asked, her voice filled with confusion. Liam hung his head, unable to meet Anna's gaze. "I thought it would be fun," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "I wanted to see everyone's reactions and make them laugh. But now I see that it was wrong, and I'm truly sorry." Anna studied Liam for a moment, her expression softening with understanding. "It's okay, Liam," she said gently, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "We all make mistakes. What's important is that you're willing to own up to them and make things right." Encouraged by Anna's forgiveness, Liam knew that he needed to apologize to the rest of the villagers and make amends for his deception. With a renewed sense of determination, he approached Mr. Thompson, the village elder, and shared his confession. Mr. Thompson listened patiently as Liam recounted his misdeeds, his wise eyes filled with compassion. "Liam, I'm glad you've chosen to come clean," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "But you must understand that trust is fragile. It takes time to rebuild what has been broken." Liam nodded solemnly, understanding the gravity of Mr. Thompson's words. He knew that earning back the trust of his friends and neighbors would not be easy, but he was willing to do whatever it took to make things right. As the day wore on, Liam went from house to house, apologizing to each villager he had deceived. Some accepted his apology readily, while others remained skeptical, their trust still shaken by his actions. But Liam remained undeterred, determined to prove himself worthy of the trust and respect of his community once more. And as he looked out over the village of Elmridge, he knew that his journey to redemption had only just begun. In the days that followed Liam's confession, a palpable tension hung in the air of Elmridge. The once warm and trusting atmosphere of the village had been replaced by a sense of uncertainty and doubt. The villagers, though polite and cordial, kept their distance from Liam, their trust in him shattered by his deceit. Liam felt the weight of their suspicion like a heavy burden on his shoulders. Everywhere he went, he could feel the accusing glances and hear the hushed whispers of his neighbors. He longed to regain their trust, but he knew that it would not be easy. One afternoon, as Liam wandered through the village square, he overheard a group of villagers discussing the events of the past week. "I can't believe Liam would deceive us like that," one villager muttered, shaking his head in disbelief. "I thought he was one of us, but now I'm not so sure." Liam's heart sank as he listened to the conversation, his guilt weighing heavily on his conscience. He knew that he had let his friends and neighbors down, and he was determined to make things right. But with each passing day, he felt the fracture of trust between himself and the rest of the village growing wider and deeper. As the weeks turned into months, Liam struggled to rebuild the bonds that had been broken by his deception. He apologized to his neighbors at every opportunity, but his words seemed to fall on deaf ears. The villagers, though polite and civil, remained distant and guarded around him, their trust in him eroded by his actions. Even Liam's closest friends seemed to keep him at arm's length, their smiles strained and their conversations stilted. He longed for the easy camaraderie they had once shared, but he knew that it would take time to earn back their trust. Despite the uphill battle he faced, Liam refused to give up hope. He continued to go about his daily routine, helping his neighbors whenever he could and striving to be the best version of himself. He knew that actions spoke louder than words, and he was determined to prove himself worthy of their trust once more. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, Liam began to feel the weight of his past mistakes bearing down on him. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to shake the shadow of doubt that loomed over him, casting a pall over his every interaction. And so, as the village of Elmridge continued to grapple with the aftermath of Liam's deception, he vowed to redouble his efforts to regain their trust. For he knew that trust, once broken, was not easily mended. But with patience, perseverance, and a sincere commitment to honesty, he believed that he could rebuild what had been lost and restore the bonds of trust that had once united them as one. As the seasons changed and the village of Elmridge transitioned from summer to autumn, Liam's determination to regain the trust of his neighbors remained unwavering. Despite the lingering doubts and suspicions that still surrounded him, he refused to let despair cloud his resolve. One crisp autumn morning, as the golden leaves danced on the breeze and the air was filled with the scent of wood smoke, Liam embarked on a journey of redemption. Armed with sincerity and a genuine desire to make amends, he set out to prove himself worthy of the trust and respect of his community. Liam started by reaching out to those he had wronged, offering heartfelt apologies and sincere assurances of his commitment to honesty and integrity. Some villagers accepted his apologies readily, while others remained skeptical, their trust still fragile after the events of the past. Undeterred by the mixed reactions he received, Liam continued to demonstrate his newfound dedication to honesty through his actions. He volunteered to help his neighbors with chores and tasks, lending a helping hand wherever he could and always keeping his word. Slowly but surely, the walls of doubt and suspicion that had once surrounded Liam began to crumble. His neighbors, impressed by his sincerity and perseverance, began to warm to him once more, their smiles becoming more genuine and their conversations more relaxed. One day, as Liam walked through the village square, he was approached by Anna, the same friend he had helped find her lost necklace all those months ago. "Liam, I want to thank you," she said, her eyes shining with sincerity. "Thank you for owning up to your mistake and working so hard to make things right. You've shown us that you're truly deserving of our trust." Tears welled in Liam's eyes as he listened to Anna's words, his heart overflowing with gratitude. He had come a long way since the day he had deceived his friends and neighbors, and he was grateful for the opportunity to prove himself worthy of their trust once more. Emboldened by Anna's words, Liam continued on his journey of redemption, spreading kindness and goodwill wherever he went. With each passing day, the bonds of trust that had once been fractured by his deception grew stronger, forged anew by his unwavering commitment to honesty and integrity. And so, as the village of Elmridge embraced the changing seasons and looked forward to a future filled with hope and renewal, Liam stood as a shining example of the power of redemption. Though his journey had been long and challenging, he had emerged stronger and wiser, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and conviction. And as he looked out over the village he called home, Liam knew that he was exactly where he belonged, in a community built on trust, honesty, and the enduring spirit of redemption. Reflecting on his journey in Elmridge, Liam saw similarities between his story and the famous tale of the boy who cried wolf. Like the boy in the story, Liam learned a valuable lesson about honesty and trust. He realized that lying, even as a joke, can hurt others and break trust. Just as the villagers in the story stopped believing the boy's warnings, Liam saw how his neighbors became wary of his words after his prank. But Liam also learned about redemption. He understood that saying sorry wasn't enough. He needed to show through his actions that he was truly sorry. By helping his neighbors and being honest, he began to rebuild the trust he had lost. In the end, Liam's journey taught him the importance of honesty and integrity in building strong relationships. Like the boy in the story, he learned that honesty is the foundation of trust, and without trust, a community cannot thrive.